we are going to see a small subtopic under essential mineral elements, so which is toxicity of micronutrients.
The toxic value.
Yeah. So toxicity is generally in micronutrients. Micronutrients itself, the nutrients which are the elements which are required in smaller amounts. So toxicity is nothing but the critical concentration of smaller, if the micronutrients which are excess in amount.
Excess. Okay.
It is known as toxicity. Okay. Deficiency is lower than a critical concentration.
Toxicity is more
Higher than the very high than the critical concentration. So moderate increase in these elements causes toxicity. Okay. So toxicity symptoms.
difficult to identify.
It is difficult to identify. Symptoms.
We should see in Microsoft, we should see the cells and then only the outer look of the plant we cannot identify. Okay.
So toxicity levels vary with different plants. Some plants can withstand the toxic level, but plants cannot. So it varies with plants. Some plants can and some plants cannot. So many times, excess of an element may inhibit the uptake of other element. So
If you take the space for filling up other elements, we should take
no, it is not like that. It inhibits the other element for uptake. Okay, it does not even allow them to uptake.
Only this will be good.
Yeah. So for example, if you take manganese toxicity, manganese is present in high amount in plants. Then how can you find the manganese toxicity is that appearance of brown spots surrounding chlorotic veins. So chlorotic veins is nothing but the veins of the leaves. So appearance of brown spots surrounding that veins can be the cause of manganese toxicity. Okay. So what does this manganese do? It competes is nothing but it competites. Okay, it competites with iron and magnesium.
Okay.
Iron and magnesium for uptake. It does not leave.
It does not leave hydrogen.
It performs like it competes with them. Okay. So and with magnesium for binding with enzymes. So with binding for enzymes, this manganese does not leave magnesium to bind with enzymes. Always this manganese only binds with enzymes. Okay. And also it induces deficiency of iron. This manganese also induces deficiency of iron.
Okay. Leads to deficiency of iron. Okay.
So these are the symptoms of manganese. So therefore manganese toxicity results in the deficiency of iron, magnesium. So these two elements. Okay. Can you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. So next we will go with the next topic, which is mechanism of absorption of elements. Okay. We are going to see the third topic, which is mechanism of absorption of elements.
Mechanism of absorption of elements. Okay.
So this topic, we have already seen this topic in previous lesson, which is transport in plants.
Okay.
So some ions or minerals which are absorbed actively, and after the absorption of after absorbing them actively, they pass passively through the xylem or through the xylem tissues. Okay, we have seen already in transport in plants. So there are two kinds of movement in these plants. Okay, which is known as movement of ions is generally known as flux. Okay. So inward movement of these ions is known as influx.
They say in and efflux.
And outward movement is known as efflux. Efflux. Okay. So next, we are going to the next topic, since we have seen the next topic.
So we can remember it as E is for exit. So we can remember it as efflux.
So the fourth topic also we have seen in the previous session, which is previous chapter, which is translocation of solutes. We have seen this in transport in plants, because translocation of solutes is generally through xylem. These solutes are generally minerals, water and other substances which are present in the soil are moved through xylem column and they are transported. So these are nothing but translocation solutes. They come under generally they come under this topic. Okay. So since we have seen this in the previous chapter, we are going to the next topic, which is soil as reservoir of essential elements. Okay. So soil is generally with enormous amount of minerals and elements elements present in it. Okay. So it is because the weathering of rocks and everything. Because of the weathering of rocks, these rocks may convert into soil with an enormous amount of minerals and ions present in them. Okay. So this soil not only supplies minerals to the plants but also harvests nitrogen fixing bacteria,
rhizobium,
and other microbes.
and they live under root nodules.
And other microbes, and these hold water in them to supply, and it supplies air to roots and everything. So this soil not only it is not performing the function of harboring elements alone. It is having.
It is even giving shelter for those bacteria, nitrogen fixing bacteria and more.
So here, since this soil harvests numerous number of elements and everything, everything, but they are also supplied with essential elements through fertilizers. Okay, they have to be supplied to plants. Okay, so this is under the topic which is soil as a reservoir of essential elements. Okay, so next we will go to the next topic which is metabolism of nitrogen. So now under metabolism of nitrogen, we are going to discuss about nitrogen cycle.
Okay.
Okay. So in this nitrogen cycle is nothing but how nitrogen is absorbed from the soil, and how it is decaying again, and how it is obtained in what means it is converted into ammonia. That all we are going to see here. So in nitrogen cycle, nitrogen is very limited in the soil. So plants definitely need nitrogen in more amount. So in that way, plants compete with various microbes for limited nitrogen that is available in the soil. Okay. So this nitrogen is N2, which is composed of two atoms, and between these two nitrogen atoms there are triple bond, which is very strong. So it is difficult to break this triple bond. Okay. So this process of conversion of nitrogen to ammonia is nothing but NH4. Okay. So the process of conversion of nitrogen to ammonia is known as nitrogen fixation. Okay, nitrogen fixation. So generally lightning and UV rays, ultraviolet
Because of
radiations.
getting overheated, it will be dissolved.
Which one?
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen.
Yeah.
No, it cannot be dissolved. Lightning is that the thunders which come. Okay.
Yes.
So lightnings and ultraviolet radiations converts nitrogen to nitrogen oxides. Okay, to nitrogen oxides. Here it is oxides. It can be nitrogen monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, and nitrate oxide. Okay. So NO, NO2 or N2O. Okay. So now decomposition of organic nitrogen. Okay, decomposition of organic nitrogen from leaves, dead leaves, plants and everything which contain nitrogen in them, of dead plants and animals, into ammonia. So decomposition of organic nitrogen into ammonia is known as ammonification.
Ammonification. Okay.
Here it is nitrogen fixation. The process of conversion of nitrogen to ammonia is known as nitrogen fixation. There, decomposition of organic nitrogen to ammonia is known as ammonification. Okay. So here it is achieved by how the nitrogen is absorbed by plants from ammonia. Okay. So from it cannot absorb ammonia. Ammonia have to be converted into nitrates and nitrites. Then only the plants can absorb them. So this ammonia, which is NH3, it is first converted into nitrites. Okay. So by bacteria Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus, which are present in the soil. Okay. And then these nitrites are converted to nitrates by Nitrobacter, by the microbe Nitrobacter. So Nitrosomonas, Nitrococcus to convert it into nitrites, and Nitrobacter to convert it into nitrates. Okay. So these bacteria are chemoautotrophic bacteria. Okay. So chemoautotrophic autotrophs are nothing but by this conversion. They get energy from this conversion. By this oxidation they get energy and form 82 bonds within them. So they, with that since it is making its energy from these chemicals, it is known as chemoautotrophs. It is producing its own food. Okay. So again this nitrates enters into plant. Okay. It enters into plant and it passes through the leaves and everything, and again it falls. So again it becomes ammonia and enters into atmosphere. So this process, which is again it is converted to ammonia from nitrates, it is known as denitrification. Okay, denitrification by the bacteria Pseudomonas and Thiobacillus. Okay, so bacteria are very important here. Okay. So next we will see biological nitrogen fixation.
Biological factors.
Biological, not factors. How biologically the nitrogen is fixed in plants. We are going to see that. Okay. So now we are going to see about biological nitrogen fixation.
Biological nitrogen fixation. Okay.
So what is biological nitrogen fixation?
Organisms that
Fix nitrogen. So nitrogen fixing by organisms. It is known as biological nitrogen fixation. Okay. So here only some prokaryotes. Prokaryotes are the organisms which do not have a nuclear membrane. So those prokaryotes are capable of fixing nitrogen. Only prokaryotes.
Now
microbes.
okay.
So they are only capable of fixing nitrogen to plants. Okay. So nitrogen when it is converted to ammonia by organisms, it is known as biological nitrogen fixation. Okay. So the enzyme nitrogenase is capable of nitrogen reduction. Enzyme nitrogenase.
Nitrogen reduction.
Yeah.
Okay.
So enzyme nitrogenase is present only in prokaryotes. So therefore it can only fix nitrogen. Okay. So it can only convert nitrogen to ammonia because of the enzyme nitrogenase. Okay. So these prokaryotes which fix nitrogen are also known as nitrogen fixers.
Nitrogen fixers. Okay.
Okay. So this nitrogen fixing microbes can be free living or symbiotic. Free living are nothing but they just freely present in the soil. Symbiotic is nothing but they are associated with the root nodules. Okay. So those microbes which are associated with the root nodules are known as symbiotic nitrogen fixing microbes.
Okay.
So in free living nitrogen fixing aerobic bacteria, the examples are, aerobic is nothing but they intake oxygen. So the examples are Acetobacter, Beijeringia and Rhodospirillum. Rhodospirillum is anaerobic. These two are aerobic free living. Rhodospirillum is anaerobic free living. Okay. And some cyanobacteria also can fix nitrogen. Cyanobacteria are nothing but blue-green algae.
Okay. So rhizobium comes under which category?
Which rhizobium? Yeah, rhizobium comes under so they are also symbiotic nitrogen. They are symbiotic, associated with the root nodules. Okay, these are free living nitrogen fixing bacteria. That too, Acetobacter and Beijeringia are aerobic bacteria and Rhodospirillum is anaerobic. Okay. So there are some cyanobacteria which is also known as blue-green algae. So they also fix nitrogen. Free living nitrogen fixers these are. Examples are Anapina and Nosta. Okay, so they also fix nitrogen. Okay.
They are free living nitrogen fixers.
Okay. So next we are going to see about symbiotic nitrogen fixation. Okay. So now we are going to discuss about symbiotic biological nitrogen fixation.
Okay.
So these bacteria are generally legume bacteria relationship, the leguminous plants and the bacteria relationship. Okay. So here the main role is played by rhizobium. Okay. So rhizobium forms
leguminous plants are that have root nodules on their roots.
Leguminous plants have they are a family of pea. Yes.
Okay.
So these plants and bacteria are symbiotic association with them. So rhizobium plays a major role in the roots of these plants, form nodules and everything in legume plants like alfalfa, sweet clover, sweet pea, lentils, garden pea, board pea and etc. Okay. So pea kind of varieties, pea plants. Okay. So and then the Frangia is another type of microbe, it is a bacteria which forms nodules on non-legume plants, non-pea plants, non-legume plants.
Okay.
Example, algas.
Okay.
So the central part of nodules are pink. Why it is pink?
No,
it is due to the presence of leg hemoglobin or leguminous hemoglobin. Okay. So next we will see nodule formation, how the nodule is formed, okay, in the next slide.